So, hello everyone. My name is Rita and I'm a port lover from Alijó. Today I'll be conducting this session to which André Pimentel Barbosa will be joining in a few seconds. André Pimentel Barbosa is the winemaker at Poças Wines, a port and Douro DOC house founded in 1918. Today we'll be chatting a little bit about their winemaking, their style, so be prepared to immerse in the world of this small producer very shortly. The session will last approximately 25 minutes, obviously depending on the number of questions that you have, your comments, your reactions. So please feel free to do all the questions that you want. We'll try to answer them at the end of this interview. So I believe that without further ado, we can bring André to join us. What do you think, André? Yeah, just a sec. We are just waiting a little bit for André. In the meantime, it's long enough for you to fill your glass. Hi, André.
Hi.
Can you hear
This
me?
sounds okay? Yes, perfectly.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. You?
Thank you very much.
So you are in good company with the bottles.
Yes, yes, it's my little showroom, so I can explain a little bit about the labels that we make.
Oh, that's super nice. Yeah. So, ready to start?
Right on, let's go.
Okay. So, my first question is about your properties. Poças has three properties in Douro, Quinta das Quartas, Quinta de Santa Bárbara in Borgo, and Quinta de Valdecavalo in Douro. It's very interesting because the three properties are located on the three regions, the demarcated area. What would you say are the differences in terms of terroir and what they bring?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not from the family, so Poças is a family-owned company that was founded by Manuel Domingos Poças in 1918. So he started as a brandy dealer for the port wine companies, and then he started producing his own wines. And the first quinta that he bought was the Quinta das Quartas in Baixo Corgo, where we have our winery, okay, and a big warehouse where we age our ports. So a few years later, we bought the Quinta de Santa Bárbara, that's in Cima Corgo, near Pesqueira. And the last quinta that we bought was Quinta de Valcavalos that you mentioned, and it's in Douro Superior, so higher altitude. And the reason that we had different quintas is because, first of all, the age of the vineyards is different. The plots that where they are, it's different. So sun exposures is different from Santa Barbara and the Valcavalos estates.
Yeah.
And the grapes that we have in the two quintas are different. So most of our whites are in the Valcavalos, so higher altitude, where we try to keep the fruit and the acidity, okay? And for more complex wines, we go for Quinta de Santa Bárbara, that's warmer and lower altitude. So more color, more tannins to make our beautiful vintages and LBVs, and some really good red wines for the DOC. Okay?
Okay, yeah, perfect. So now, since you've mentioned the port at Quinta Santa, have you ever considered producing a single state vintage If so, which of the estates would you think are the most suited for that?
We try to make the vintage from Poças. It's a family statement, I would say, and this really beautiful bottle that we have, it's the commemoration of the centenary, and
Yeah.
we have the names that the people that were in the lagars when we made the wine. And what we try to put out to our customers is the small plots that in years like 2018 were really good. Most of them come from the Quintas Santa Barbara, where we have the old vines in the field blend. Okay,
Yeah.
as I told, the concentration comes from these estates, but then we need to have a bit more of fruits or increase a little bit of the acidity, and we pick some of the grapes from the Valcavalos estates. So what we have, it's a blend between the two quintas, and for us is the way that we think that makes sense to make vintages. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think that in the end that you have it together than just one quinta separately.
Yes.
So, apart from the port production, Poças also invests a lot of effort in the Douro DOC wines. Actually, you're one of the first companies to really pay attention to the Douro DOC wines and invest some effort in it. Could you tell us where do you see this category in the future, the Douro DOC wines? Do you think that maybe some years from now, you'll find that the Douro DOC wines are actually more relevant than the port wines?
No, I don't think so. I think the history and the complexity that we have in the region, we still can make really good ports and really good DOC wines. What I think as a region is that we have to increase our quality because I don't think we're going to increase the volume of wines that we're going to make. For example, in comparison with New World like Chile or our neighbors in Spain that have lots of volume, I think we
Yeah.
have to increase the year by year the quality of our wines and try to make a statement to the world. So compete with the best. That's what I think for the table wines. About these two sides of the company, the DOC Wines was started by George. He's the lead winemaker in the company, and in the 90s was we are starting to make our first red wines, and then year by year we start to take all the knowledge that we have from making ports and increase the quality of our wines. And today we have two different lines in our reds. So we have the Poças line, the wines that are over here.
Yeah.
And now recently we have a side line. It's called Fora da Série. And these are experimental wines and things that come out of the box in the vintage, or for some reason we try to test some grape or some different technique in winemaking, and the wines are the results of those tests. So today we have two sides on the Douro wines.
Yeah, you have the normal line of amazing quality wines, and then you have something where you can experiment a little and try things and be innovative about your dry wines, and that's very, very interesting. But before we pass to that out of the box segment, which I think is super interesting, I'd like to ask you, André, are you drinking something? Hopefully, that's not suited for children.
Now I'm going to open this wine, this vintage. It's a very special wine for us
Yeah,
for three reasons. First of all, a vintage year for us, the 18.
yeah.
Okay. Second is the year of the centenary of the company. So we made 100 years old in 1918. And the third reason is that it's a wine that was made with the family, the workers in the winery, the customers, the friends. So everybody join up in the lagars and foot rotten the grapes, and this is the result. Okay, so it's a very special wine for us.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the best thing about the companies being like a family or everyone's together is then on the wines, when you have the wines, you can think about everything that surrounds it and that was part of it, just like what you have there on your bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Our wines are the result of the dedication from all the workers, from the vineyard to the winery, to the laboratory, the family, our customers, our clients, our dealers. So everybody has something to say about this
Yeah,
special vintage.
yeah, and that's the beauty of port wine, right? So for the ones who are over there, I'm also having a very special wine. It's a Dow's 20 years old Tawny, and it's an amazing aperitif. So cheers, André. Are you ready? Let's have a toast. Cheers, everyone. And I believe now we are ready to pass to the Fora da Série segment. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, perfect.
So about your out of the box segment, it was quite recently launched in comparison with your other wines, and I believe the concept here seems to be about inspiring stories of people who dared to think and do differently inside their own art. About your specific wines, you've already released an amphora, an orange wine, vinho da roga, tinta roriz, and so on. So what was your point with this inspiring segment? Would you like to talk a little bit about those new wines, first of all, and explain why innovation, and mainly I think the idea of being disruptive, played such an important role here?
First of all, the Fora da Série has no rules. Okay, I'm not obliged to make a different wine every year. I'm not obliged to repeat the wine every year. So it's an open box every vintage, and as I told before, we have our DNA from port blenders.
Yeah.
And we are always looking for small details that makes a big difference. And on the Fora da Série is stay quite sharp for those details, and that's how these wines are made. For example, the orange wine was crushing when I was crushing the grapes for the Branco de Ribeira. This is one of the wines that we have here, and was the first year that my daughter was in the vintage, and I wanted it to experience the food trotten. So I got a bucket and I put some of the crushed grapes. And in that moment, I remembered I'm going to explore this, and that's how the orange wine is made. So, as you can see, it's always trying to look from small details, and the results I think are really good, and our customers are quite keen to every year try to see what's new.
Yeah.
And why we went for that detail. For example, The Toriga Nacional is one of the wines that we made. The grapes were fermented to be for the lots or the blends for the symbol. This is one of our premium wines,
Yeah.
and that Toriga Nacional was so special that I kept it aside and I bottled it, and I said my customers have to taste this beautiful Toriga Nacional with a different profile, and that's the result.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way of doing wine business, of course, because a lot of times I think people are waiting to always have that specific wine available, and in this way, you really make it special, not just because the wines are definitely special, but also because they are unique. We don't know for sure if you'll have the chance of trying that wine ever again. So that creates
I had
or
I had a really good teacher, a port wine teacher, a colleague when I was an intern,
yeah,
and she told me that every lagar is like a small baby or a new baby.
yeah.
So all the lagars have different profile, different characters. They are good in something, they are not so good in something. And what we have at the end of the vintage is lots of small details and characteristics, and that's what I love to do as a blender, is to take the most of each part and build something really beautiful like this 1918 vintage. That it's awesome, by the way.
Well, you could send a bottle if you want. I'll be glad to enjoy it in the near future. So as someone is asking, are there any new wines coming up?
Yes, new wines for the series, and also for the Poças traditional series. So we have new things coming out in March, I think,
Yeah.
for the something white, and at the end of the year we're going to release something quite curious. I'm interested to see how the public will react to that special wine that we're going to release in October, November, maybe. So stay tuned.
You cannot tell us a little bit more about that. Just details.
I can tell you something about the wine that we're going to release in March. So it's a white wine. It's once again an experiment, and once again it's the characteristic of a blender is try to see where can I go with these lots, but taking care of the wine, so take most of the risk and try to at the end of the experiment bring something really special. So
we will be waiting. Well, at least until March, we'll probably be waiting at home, drinking some wine.
okay.
So definitely prepared to enjoy that wine. Someone is asking if there are any discounts for School of Port followers. I believe we need to talk with Poças about that in the future.
Yes.
At least when you release the new wines. So,
but let me make the invitation to all of the School of Port followers. If when this COVID passes, if you want to visit us, in our lodge in Vila Nova de Gaia, we are really happy to receive you and to show you our casks and our ports. So
yeah,
come to see it.
Do you have a tourism center open in the Douro, André?
Not yet. It's a thing that we're working right now. So when the COVID passes, we can open it for everybody can see the Quintas.
Yeah, yes. we'll definitely go, because after this passes, we'll not stay 5 minutes at home, I think.
Let's hope.
So, thank you very much, André. I don't know if you want to add something else to this talk.
Now, for me, let me just thank you for this time. It's always a pleasure to explain and talk a little bit about Poças and the things that we do. And once again, invite you to come and visit us. And as a port lover, I would ask you to drink a port today that makes the COVID away. So let's
Yeah,
hope.
yeah, a glass of port today. At least till now, it has made the COVID away. So
Yeah.
we are safe. Um, so thank you very, very much, Andre. It was definitely a pleasure. I hope to see you in the future, in a short future. And in the meantime, stay safe, okay? And enjoy
Thank you
your
very much.
airports.
Cheers to
Thank
all.
you. Cheers. Um, yeah, now when we toast, we need to drink. We cannot lose any luck that we have. Thank you. Bye bye,
Bye
Andre.
bye. Thank you.
So, everyone, thank you so much for watching. We hope that you've enjoyed this as much as we did. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Feel free to send us direct messages about comments, questions, about this interview specifically, or about other editions that you've seen or ideas that you have for further sessions. Don't forget to stay tuned at School of Port for updates, because you'll have a lot of new updates. And most importantly, let me tell you that this was brought to you by the Port Mad people here at Symington Family Estates. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. And don't forget to drink a lot of port and dry wines. Thank you. Bye bye.